Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Wari Kananigo, and you're watching my life icons. Oh my goodness, I started teaching when I was still 19 years old. In fact, I only have a 4 year gap with my fourth year high school students. So that's actually how young I was when I started. And now I'm 41 years old. I'll be turning 42 in April, and I'm still teaching. So you can do the math. Yes, of course, you're correct. I already have thousands of students. And our special guest for tonight is someone who could really make it to the short list. She's really one of my favorite students ever, ever, ever. She could be in the upper 10% of my favorite students. And the reason for that is because I believe she is an embodiment of the maxim learning is a lifetime challenge and shouldn't stop. Ladies and gentlemen, CHISATO Ishimoto. Hi,
Hi everyone.
hello, how are you today?
I'm very good and excited for this great opportunity. I really hope that this interview will go well and will be helpful for many people.
It should go well and it will do well because it's our collaboration. Let's go back to the day when I invited you to guest in my show. What was your reaction? The initial reaction?
I was grateful and honored to be a guest for you because you have been helping me as an English teacher for a long time, and I could achieve plenty of goals thanks to you. And it'd be very happy for me to share my experience and thoughts to those who are watching this video through this interview.
Thank you very much. The thank you that you
Mhm.
actually gave is actually a blessing, and it's one of the treasures that we actually keep. You know, not only me, but of course all your teachers, since grade one to kindergarten until now, of course. Okay, um, just like what I said in the opening spiel, I really admire you very much because
Thank
um,
you.
I've come to learn that you did not actually stop studying. But before I actually dig deeper, let's first talk about your elementary years in Japan. So, what are some of the funnest memories that you would like to share to us?
Um, at the elementary school, I really loved lunch at school. Usually in Japan, elementary schools offer us lunch every day. We have to pay for it, but it's much cheaper than buying lunch every day. In addition, there are nutritionists and the chefs at the school, so it's very tasty and healthy.
Mhm.
And another thing, we start learning English at elementary school in Japan. It is not so advanced, but like a conversation class. I remember that we sang Queen songs and learned some phrases like "How are you?" and "My name is Chisato," and I really enjoyed that class.
Yes, my
Yeah.
goodness. You know, listening to you, I couldn't help myself reminiscing also my playground years at North City
Mm,
Central School. Hi to my North City Central School family. My goodness.
mm.
Go back to the lunch your parents had to pay at school. Of course, it's a school, and we all know that schools as academic institutions should promote nutrition. So you didn't have junk foods, right, for lunch? Obviously, you never had.
No, we didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't.
junk foods. And since it's in Japan, do you remember, being served with Japanese iconic dishes like sashimi, sushi, tempura,
Mm.
miso soup? Do you have those during lunch?
We had a tempura and a miso soup very often, but not the sashimi because it's raw.
Hmm.
It could go bad quickly. Yeah,
Yes, good. Wow, I never expected that.
it
And
was
how
very
did you
tasty.
plan that you started your English lessons when you were still in elementary? And
Yeah.
you had it in high school, of course, in college and university. And so one thing that I admired in you is you still enrolled in an online English as a second language school, ETOP, English Teachers on Call, where we actually met. You still, even if you don't really need it for survival anymore, but you still studied because you want to enhance. And that's one thing that I admired in you. And of course, it requires money and time. You know, you come from work and then you open your computer and you study. So my goodness, that's great exertion. That's great effort, and that is why I said that you're actually one of a kind. Really.
Thank
Now
you.
let's go to high school. Now, as far as my orientation is concerned, high school is considered to be the most important and most memorable education level. Um, but before I say anything further, I would like you to share your high school memories. What can you share about your high school, the junior and senior high school combined?
Okay. Well, I went to a private junior and senior high school for girls in Japan. I think in all girls school, girls could be very strong, both mentally and physically. For example, I became a leader of the team with more than 900 students at the sports festival in the third grade of my senior high school. While it's still a man's role at co-ed school in Japan. So, and we girls also carried heavy stuff and no romance and no crush between girls and boys at school. So I think students at all girls schools become independent and strong. Um, but at the same time, I think it's crucial that people spend time together, regardless of our genders, because how it is in our real life.
Exactly.
And yeah, another memorable thing at school was we had lots of students from China and Korea. Some of them were born in Japan, and some immigrated to Japan with their family when they were little. And they spoke Japanese perfectly, and they also spoke their mother tongue between family members. We learn English at the school as well, so I was very impressed with them speaking multiple languages at the time. Yeah.
That I envy in you is you were exposed to so many education setups. Like when you were in elementary,
Mm-hmm.
you experienced being in a co-education setup where you had
Mm-hmm.
boys as classmates and of course girls. And now in high school, you tried an all-girls setup, so it's no longer co-ed. And and of course, you said no crashes, so you were not actually bothered. But you were a teenager back then. Did you have girl crushes or crushes? So you also have a crush in your neighborhood, or maybe a boy from another school, or a celebrity crush, perhaps. You have those.
Yeah. Once I dated with a boy who went to the school next to my school, and but we couldn't meet often, so we broke up very quickly. But it was a good experience.
Thinking
Yeah.
about the experience, if there is one con or disadvantage of an all girls setup, what would it be? Can you cite one, at the top of your head?
Okay, like as I said before, I think in the real life, we like all kinds of people needs to live together. So what I missed at the all girls school is to live um, different kinds of people and cooperated with them because we were all girls. And yeah, so yeah, it's one of disadvantages, I think.
Correct. I mean, the purpose of education is not just to increase your knowledge, but the
Mhm.
more important or the most important purpose of education is really to prepare you for real life, to prepare you to overcome the challenges outside the gates of the school, outside the gates of
Yeah.
the university, and being able to deal with different sexes is really, really very important. But that's perfectly fine. Anyway, when you go home, you have your
Mhm.
father, you have your father image, male image. of course, your neighborhood, your temple. Anyway, you still have those in your elementary years. So, you know, based from your high school experience, do you consider high school as the most memorable educational level?
Educational level. Yeah, sort of, but that was not so advanced compared with the college education for
Mhm.
me. Yeah, it was helpful, but some of the subjects I learned at high school uh, are not so useful for me anymore, so to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of have a point. In my case, though, it's a little bit different because I have always considered high school to be most memorable because
Mhm.
we're there during our teenage years and teenage life is so exciting. On the part,
Mm,
of course, on the part of professional development or the part of academic side of it, I can say that I've learned the fundamentals and the
mm,
basics of every subject in high school, which I was able
mm,
to apply when I was in college. In fact, I can still remember a professor asked me why you want to be an English major, and I said I want
mm,
to prove that the usual answer that you want to improve your communication skills in English. So no,
mhm,
if you want to improve, then you're not supposed to be. Uh, we're not supposed to admit you. You can you fail already if that's your answer.
mhm,
Because if you want to be an English major, your reason should be that you're already very good in it and it's your comfort zone and you excel in it. And what's your basis
mm,
for that? For saying that you're excellent, for saying that you're comfortable with the subject, of course, you have to go back to high school. You have to go back to your performance in high school.
mm,
That's why I said that's the most important. And college will just actually enhance you so that you can
mm,
finally actually, fulfill the requirements of the government and the private sector on whether or
mhm,
not you're qualified to work. But I respect your decision, of course. We have actually different experiences, but at least we acknowledge that in every level there is always a contribution. It's like a
mhm.
building block. A
Yeah.
level it's always a piece of the puzzle, an important piece of the
Mm,
puzzle. Let's talk about your
yeah.
love story with college.
I went to one of the international universities in Japan and I studied theology. And yeah, I chose this subject because I loved studying world history, especially European history when I was a high school student. And I thought cultures in the world were strongly linked with religions, and knowing religions could be a key for understanding cultural conflicts at the time. And the education at the university gave me a wide perspective and plenty of challenges and also chances. For example, we could join lectures beyond the faculties. So I participated in lectures offered by the departments of sociology, philosophy, history, and more rather than the theoretical studies. Studying abroad was also highly recommended by the university. So I went to Denmark to study and do volunteer work. um, these experiences at the university definitely helped me with forming what I want to do. And I strongly think what we learn at the university would be linked with what we do in the future somehow. For instance, I am currently working for one of the NGOs and helping uh, to solve social issues. So I feel very happy that I finished my college education that made me understand the advanced studies and gives me chances.
You're a certified social science girl. Actually, that's what you said. And I believe that one of the highlights of your college education is the opportunity that you had enjoyed when you were a student in Denmark. What paved the
Yeah.
way for that experience?
Um. like it like that experience changed me a lot. Like before that experience, I have been to just a few countries rather than Japan, and yeah, like meeting with people from all over the world gave me like a wide perspective and different opinions. So that experience changed me a lot.
Well, was it a requirement of a certain subject in
No,
college?
no,
Or
no. I took a break from the university and I went to Denmark on my working holiday visa. So,
it was
mhm.
definitely not part of the college education. So I'm so sorry. I thought it was a highlight of your college education, but it was just
Ah,
you needed to actually take a break from college, and you
mhm.
actually applied to be enrolled in a boarding school in Denmark
Yes, yes,
before
kind
you
of.
actually went back to Japan and finished. So it wasn't a scholarship. It wasn't a requirement. You did
No,
it
it wasn't.
because you really wanted to. Wow.
Yes, yeah. Because yeah, at that school I went to in Denmark was also that school also had the students from like a lot of countries. Like also refugees could join that school. People like from anywhere could join that school, and I was very interested in that system. So yeah, I joined that school.
Two things that you actually learned from your Denmark experience.
One of them is international communication class. That was my favorite class because during the class, like there were students from all over the world, and one day we learned gestures in different countries. And for example, in Japan, if we do like this, which means no thanks, but in Italy, which means are you crazy? So like each gesture has different meanings in different countries. So I was very like shocked and really enjoyed that culture differences. And another my favorite class was actually choir. Yeah, like the teacher was the like voice actor of Aladdin in Denmark. So he was very kind and how can I say like funny during the class, and like people from all over the world could be happy just by singing. So that was very amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what you shared reminded me of what one person said. I forgot what movie that was, and one of the characters said that it is arrogance when you go to a foreign country and you don't learn their language and their culture.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's really really important.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm, yeah, that
I
was.
actually agree. And of
Mhm.
course, one of the best things that happened to you in Denmark is you were able to meet the love of your life. So you're in an interracial relationship right now. So that brought a smile
Yeah.
on your face, of course. But okay, so but anyway, you graduated in college. You already started working, but you did not stop. You know, you
Mm,
continued your you took education, your English education through online
mhm,
platform, and
mm,
then now you're actually about to start your master's degree, and you want to
mhm.
make an immigration. My goodness, why do you think it's important for you to go up or to actually elevate the educational attainment that you have, and why immigration?
Well, there should be many reasons, but the biggest reason for me is that engaging in a higher education allows me to get better acknowledgement and opportunities. Um, for example, I studied theology at the university in Japan because I was interested in religion culture itself, and I think acknowledging that could help us to solve serious issues in the world, such as racial segregation and conflicts. And yeah, and I am currently working for an NGO where I always need to have a wide perspective to talk about social issues and find solutions. And yeah, what I learned at the university helps me so much. And in addition, I am able to work for this NGO because I have a certain degree. So I think completing study at the university gives us better opportunities for sure. And in the future, I want to work for an international organization, which requires me to have a master's degree. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to study again. And at the same time, I didn't focus on studying immigration when I was in the bachelor's degree. So I feel like I want to study more about immigration, and yeah, yeah, I am so excited for it. Yeah.
We're all excited for you, and I would no longer be wondering if someday, after you shall
Mhm.
have finished your master's degree, you would be starting your doctoral degree.
Yeah, maybe.
And immigration is such a very important topic,
Yeah, I think.
field of knowledge, because it's something that you need to study not only for yourself, but for the good
Yeah.
of humanity. So that's a very selfless
Mm.
choice. So congratulations also on that. And I'm currently you're very busy processing your papers for either a student visa for Canada and for Denmark. Why do you still feel the need to go back to Denmark? Aside from, of course, your lover boy is there, and why Canada is part of the option.
um, well, like when I took a break from university, I joined the schools called Folkehøjskole in Denmark. And I spend my time with people from all over the world, and especially the time with refugees who escaped from their home countries and they left their families. There was definitely the reason I decided to study again about international immigrations and discrimination in master's program. I chose Denmark and Canada because Denmark is located in Europe with lots of refugees and immigrants, and known as a country with which provides a good social welfare and education even for refugees and immigrants. And also, Canada is one of the new nations which contains lots of immigrants from all over the world and known as a multicultural society with the Canadian Multiculturalism Act, which was promulgated for the first time in the world. So it's a reason I chose Denmark and Canada.
Actually, that's actually part of my prayers. And I'm
Mhm.
also very thrilled for you because Denmark is one of my favorite European countries, and of course Canada is another favorite of mine. Of course, part of the American continent. So,
Mm.
good luck and
Yeah.
continue with again the act of educating yourself.
Yeah.
Learning as much as possible, and yeah, of course you will reap the rewards. Actually,
Mm.
there's always good karma. There's always good karma in everything good that we do. So uh,
Yeah.
thank you very much for
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you so much.
yeah, trying your best to be comfortable as much as possible, even if I know
Yeah. I will.
this is your first time. I really really
Mhm.
appreciate the effort, and of course we'll still see each other often. with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because we're part of the Ethan family. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, and
Yeah,
thank you
thank
for
you very much.
sharing um,
You.
some aspects of your life, and I'm sure our subscribers can actually learn a lot from what we have discussed today. So thank
Mm.
you, and have a great day. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.